2. Aloha! Thank you for tuning in to episode number 28. My name is Christina Estrada, partner of Booyah Marketing, where we have deeper connections. Today, our honored guest is Suzanne Kellner Zinck, with 30 plus years of experience working in mental health, specializing in holistic healing through hypnosis, helping clients quickly address the root causes of emotional illness when traditional mental health approaches have failed. Public speaker, author, podcaster, a mover and a shaker, setting souls free to live their purpose on purpose. How are you, Suzanne?
Excellent, thank you.
Good, good, good. 20% of Americans are on psychiatric medications these days. However, what you may not know is this major problem these drugs can have on a person. Suzanne, could you tell us what you know about these major problems these drugs are causing people?
Well, sadly, what happens is a person will feel depressed or anxiety ridden, and because they get lambasted in America with drug commercials, they'll talk to their doctor and they'll ask their doctor to put them on some drug, or if they don't ask the doctor to put them on some drug, the doctor will put them on a drug because doctors today only has what, 5 to 7 minutes max in any kind of appointment. And the reason is because we no longer have a healthcare system. We have a medical industrial complex, which basically is centered around how much money can these doctors bring in for these businesses? Okay, these are not practices, they're businesses. They've bought up the independent practices, sadly, in too many cases. So we end up with so many people on these drugs, and they cause a lot of problems. And because people are put on psychiatric drugs, generally speaking, they're never allowed off these psychiatric drugs, even if they're having really bad problems. I've had several clients come to me who had really bad problems. I had one client who was put on, I think it was some form of antidepressant at the time, and it was causing neurological problems. She couldn't even stand long enough to do her own damn dishes.
Wow.
She took herself off the drugs, slowly titrating, meaning lesser and lesser amount. So she was able to do it safely because her idiot psychiatrist would not listen to her and would not do it for her. So it's a problem. It's a huge problem. And yeah, they do cause a lot of problems. The problems they cause is that they alter the way the brain operates. So if you can imagine, you have a child who is put on all these drugs, they go to school and the teacher tells the parent, your kid has ADD, ADHD, and they need to be put on these drugs. These kids are put on these drugs at 4, I guess 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. I don't know a healthy kid who's willing to sit still in school all damn day, especially boys. They have natural energy. So this is all insane, just to let you know, okay? Sending drugs for the kids instead of the people who are the adults who are actually have ridiculous ideas of what kids are supposed to be doing. Any case, if you think about it, a child's brain is developing. If the child's brain is still developing and you're giving these mind-altering drugs, what the hell do you think is going to happen to these kids over a long period of time? It's very, very problematic in a lot of ways. And it's very sad. And it's creating a lot of problems in our society, quite frankly. We need to stop this ridiculous situation where we're just giving out drugs like they're candy, because that's really what it's like. They're just handing out, it's like candy. It's like it doesn't do anything. No. And by the way, most of these drugs have only been tested for about 3 to 6 months. Usually people are on them for at least 5 years, so you can tell that they have no idea what the long-term effects are, which means you can't give informed consent, really, because you don't know what the long-term effects are going to be from being on this crap. That's a problem. And they lie about the outcomes because Big Pharma does the testing or pays for the testing. So, of course, they just want to sell the shit. So that's what they do. They lie. They take out the people who don't fulfill the requirements they want to see as the study subjects, and you end up with even things that they say in the reports that don't reflect what the actual numbers say. You have to understand there's a difference between absolute risk and relative risk. This COVID crap came down, they were talking about the relative risk. 95%. No, it was 0.002% absolute risk. That's the number you care about. But if you don't understand statistics, and you don't understand what this means, you don't know what you're reading, you don't know what you're hearing, and you can't make any contextual understanding. And that's what they want. They want to screw with numbers. So you don't understand what's going on. And it's a fact.
Wow. Right, right. I wanted to pull up the chart that you have. Is it okay if I share my screen now?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yeah, these numbers are very scary. I mean, look, look at these numbers of people. Why do we have 58,091 0 to 5-year-olds on psychotropic drugs? Psychotropic
I know.
being
How could that be? I see it. Yeah. Aren't there
because many of
problems with
them,
these kids, these young being placed on these drugs at such a young age?
because a lot of them are being put on this ADD, ADHD shit. What is it? Legal stimulants. You know,
Hmm.
basically, what they're being given is amphetamines. Illegal on the street, but you're giving it out to your kid as if it's nothing. Absolutely insane and inane.
Could you tell us about the problems with the antidepressants, especially the SSRIs, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors?
Definitely. So we're talking about marketing, right? They
Hmm.
came up with this whole ridiculous idea that, and this goes back to like the 1980s, I think, that it was a brain chemistry problem, whatever the hell that means. Meaning that you have a problem with your brain chemistry if you're having depression or anxiety or whatever, and therefore you need to take their stupid drugs. Serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, were basically put on the market based on the fact that we had this brain chemistry imbalance. It was all marketing. There's nothing to it. There's no science behind it. There's no empirical anything. It was a marketing ploy. And as a result of this, well, you hear about all these mass shootings all over the place in America. It's because you're putting kids on this crap that has, by the way, a black box warning in the pharmacy stating that if you give this crap to kids who are teenagers and in their 20s, they might have homicidal or suicidal thoughts. Homicidal thoughts. What the hell do you think is going to happen if a kid has a gun? This is a problem. And there's actually research that's being borne out that actually talks about this. I actually did a master's in public policy in medical sociology, and my final paper, capstone paper, was on what makes a mass shooter a mass shooter. And the research said that's exactly what's happening. More research is going into it now. I think RFK Jr. is looking more into this as a situation to get more concrete evidence to this fact. They're also going into the whole trans thing because these people are put on hormones, and especially if they're given testosterone, where aggression is going to be more pronounced. That's what testosterone does if you have too much in your system. This can cause problems. And they're doing this to kids. It's
Wow.
absolutely ridiculous. So
Wow.
America is a very sick society. I'm very glad I don't live there. I live in Albania. Thank God these people are very religious. And they just do their own thing, very much in the family, very loving and huggy and perfectly fine with me. You all can keep America. God bless you all. Good luck.
Well, my goodness, I sure did learn a lot. I would like to talk about tomorrow, September 24th, 4 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Hawaii time, your birthday. Oh my gosh, you're having a Google Meet live. Could you please talk more about the event and what people are going to experience?
Well, it's kind of outrageous to think that I'm already 64 years old. I don't feel like that at all. I'm really busy
Yeah.
with school and stuff. God knows what's going to happen with that, the doctoral program, and because there's issues of that. It gives me something to do all morning long while America is still sleeping until I have to work. So it serves a purpose. But anyway, yes, I turn 64 tomorrow, and we're going to do a Google Meet. And one of the things that we're going to be doing on there is helping people to bring into their future the things that they really want to be doing with their lives. And I'll tell you, I've used this with clients, and I used it with myself in order to get me over to Israel. The first time my cousin sent me over there for 2.5 months. He paid for the entire trip. He felt bad for me. I had been going through a medical issue and a divorce shortly before that. And I had a fabulous time meeting up with all my my relatives over there that he had found. He's been doing genealogy for, I don't know, 50 years. He's 95 years old. He's actually doing what do you call it? A family reunion, big fancy thing. People from all over the world are coming, but I can't afford to go, so I'm not going. But I've been to many of them in the past, and they're a lot of fun and very educational. But anyway, I was able to do that, and I was able to go back to Israel again because I wanted to be in the beautiful Mediterranean because I love the Mediterranean Sea, and I don't really care where. And it just so happened I manifested the peace and conflict management master's degree at the lovely University of Haifa International School with all these international students, and some of them from Eastern Europe, which is why I wanted to come check out Eastern Europe, and I found this really beautiful family. They adopted me. That's why I live here in Albania. As a side note, it was manifested. I manifested going back there. I wanted to live on the seaside because I needed to calm me down. You can see I'm a little bit like hyper sometimes, and I get kind of excited, so I need that seaside, solid air, walk around, calm me down. It's a very healthy thing, and really, the University of Haifa was on the top of Mount Carmel, overlooking the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. It was beautiful. I loved it there. The people are great there.
Wow.
It was fabulous. Spent 2 years there thanks to COVID because we couldn't do our practicums. Worked out fine for me because I wasn't going back to America and I had no clue where I was going to go. So that gave me some time to figure out that shit. I ended up traveling all over the world while all you other people are stuck in lockdown because, I don't think. I knew it was a bunch of garbage, so I didn't do lockdown. I just went to countries where they weren't going to force me to take a PCR test, which is a bunch of bullshit based on the guy who invented it. He would know more about it than anybody else, I would imagine, especially our government that knows nothing about any of this stuff. And I would say, except for RK does. But before that, he wasn't in there, so they didn't know anything. And, as far as I'm concerned, it's a bioweapon because it was created in a lab in China, our adversary, and it was paid for by our Defense Department. So there you go. It's the only thing it could be, meaning the injection. So they weren't going to put that shit in me no matter what. So I traveled to places where that wasn't going to be a problem. And I ended up here in Albania. Isn't that nice? So you can manifest whatever you want. And again, I'm right on the seaside. It's right here. Another fancy resorts. Finally, these tourists are going to be leaving soon at the end of September, so I'll have my quiet space back again. I have the seaside pretty much to myself, except for a few of the resorts that are still open with the people who work there. They all know me. I'm like my third year here. And yeah, it's kind of fun. I go walking up and down there. I never know who's going to say hi. That happened to me today. I was walking up to this guy comes, oh, this is Ferry. Ferry is my adopted brother here. They take very good care of me. He's gonna have to come over and refill my petrol tank of petrol for my cooking gas because that's the way they do things here in Albania. They don't have just flowing gas like we do in America.
Wow.
Yeah, so periodically he has to come over here like once a month to refill that for me. So I have cooking gas. Yeah, they take very good care of me here. But anyway, so it's just a matter of being able to make the things happen that you want to make happen that you really care about. Because
Right.
too often we worry about stupid things that we don't need to think about, and we are not really concentrating on things that truly matter to us and living lives that would be more workable for us. And for me, America's culture doesn't work for me. It hasn't worked for me for a really long time. And when my mom passed in 2017, I think, I was free to leave. She had a lot of mental health problems, physical problems. She was in a nursing home the last 7 years of her life. But, finally, I didn't have to worry about her. And so I was able to go, and I left, and I never went back again. That's for sure. And it's so funny. People in America are like, when are you coming back to America? Are you ever going to live here again? No.
No.
It's a bird back there. No interest. Not at
So
all.
wait, so how do people get in contact with you?
Well, I guess the best way is to either do WhatsApp if you know how to do that. Send me a message. +1 781 315 1719. I think you have it in the notes below. And you have to give me your name and why you want to connect with me. And then the other thing is my email, Suzanne@dawningvisions.com. Put little asterisks in the subject with why you want to connect with me so I have a reason and I won't miss it because I get too many emails. Although thank God my tech guy cut out a whole bunch of garbage emails, so they're all going to spam now. So hopefully your thing won't go into spam. We'll see. He did a pretty good job clearing that all out for me. I'm very glad he did that. I didn't ask him to do it. He just did it. I'm like, where did all my emails go? What happened? We put all in your trash so you don't bother that crap anymore. Thank you.
All right. Well, mahalo nui loa, Suzanne, for your time. Any parting words you would like to say to the viewers?
If you can think it and you can learn to believe it, you can make it your reality.
Beautiful. Mahalo. I'll put Suzanne's information down below in the description box. Please click the subscribe, notification, and thumbs up. If you also would like to donate to the channel, we appreciate it. It helps build our content. My name is Christina Estrada, partner of Booyah Marketing. A hui ho. Until we meet again. Come celebrate Suzanne's birthday with a live Google Meet Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, September 24th, 2025. We look forward to seeing you there. A hui ho. Until we meet again.